hello there. Happy Tuesday. It's still Tuesday, right? Let me turn this music down. Hi, everybody. I apologize for this morning, but just the logistic issues we've been having in our household with one car required a little extra driving this morning. So just bear with me. It's an afternoon show. I know a lot of you usually come in here in the morning, but maybe some of the people who don't get to show up in the afternoon as often, or who can't make it in the morning, will show up in the afternoon. I see a couple names there that are nice to see. So we'll enjoy this as much as we can. Hopefully everyone will get a kick out of it and be back to our normal time tomorrow. But there's a lot of stuff that I am going to talk about today that's somewhat breaking as far as news goes that I wouldn't have been able to talk about this morning. So we'll do our best. Shall we play the intro, Johnny? Johnny over there. Hello, Johnny. Stop that music. Oh, that was quick. And play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Good afternoon, everybody. Stop that music. Good. How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Morning Night Excuse me. The Morning Night Live afternoon edition when you miss a morning show. It is Tuesday, the 25th of July, 2023, and I am so happy to see so many people jumping into the chat already. That's good. I don't know who will show up today. Oh, wow, that's weird. I shut that off over there. I shut my monitor off. So it's nice to have you here, even though it's not the normal time, and I hope you enjoy the show. I've got a few things on the list here, plus things that are happening on X. So weird to see that little, I look up for the little blue birds on my tabs, and it's all these little black X things all the way across. I'm like, what the, oh, that's the, what it's the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, they did with the Prince, right? But at least you could pronounce X, right? It's not like that symbol thingy that Prince did. X is at least something to say. By the way, did anyone see on Twitter, there is an account, a Twitter account, that's just X. And Elon Musk on Twitter, or X, or whatever the hell they call it, offered the owner of that account, and I don't know the exact number, but it was a very specific number, $89,371,463. And that's not it, but it was like that. It was a very specific number that they offered the person who has the X Twitter account. Now, if I had owned the X Twitter account, I would just go ahead and take the offer now, because you know, I would then I retire, and Lady Boomer and I would live our days out. However, on our $43 million that you'd keep from it, because the rest would go to taxes. But I was thinking about this when Elon Musk tweeted that. I'm like, okay, now is this person who has the X Twitter account, or excuse me, the X account, okay, the X account, let's say that person is dumb enough to say, oh no, I'm going to try to hold out for more. Now, how would you negotiate that? I know how I would negotiate that if I were Elon Musk. I would just say, well, if it only goes to tax if you report it right. I would say, this offer's good until 24 hours from this time of this tweet. Contact me right away. And if I'll have it every day, every 24 hours. So it'd be 89 million, whatever, blah, 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 dollars today. And then tomorrow it'd be 44 million, whatever the half of that is. The next day it'd be 22 million, and I'd have it every day. And then, and when it gets down to zero, then I just say, well, sorry, I'm taking it back. Anyway, I don't think he could do that. Well, he could. I don't know if he could or not. I don't know. Who knows? That's how I would negotiate that. I'd just say, okay, well, if you have until tomorrow and I'm going to have it. I don't know. Elon has a habit of making cash offers for things on Twitter and shortly thereafter retracting the offer. Well, yeah, I don't know. He may have already done that for all I know. I just saw it, when was it? Probably at 4 this morning when I was getting ready to go into work. So anyway, let's say hi to people in the chat, because some of you are already talking to me and some of you talking to each other. I'm going to talk to you now myself. Good morning. Good morning. It's afternoon. First in chat over on Rumble. That would be Mr. Mike Savage Blarg, who gets the bell. Good afternoon, sir. Also, good morning, Eric. Good morning. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to it being the afternoon because, my studio is down in the basement and that's like the same light pretty much anytime I'm down here. Good afternoon also to Avocados Diabli, Tyre Alexander. Oh my gosh. Well, Tyre Alexander. Well, that's the wrong. He's Tyre Alexander over here. He's the other one over there. So I'll just say Tyre Alexander. Thank you for joining me on Rumble. And if you're not watching on Rumble or if you're not subscribe to me on Rumble, make sure you do, just in case, because every once in a while they make me stop doing things here on Twitter. In fact, I did send in my so my channel's demonetized and they say you can appeal it, and then if they don't go through with the appeal, then in whatever X number of months they'll allow me to apply for monetization again. I'm like, let's just say I was. Well, I'll show you the video because it's not that long. Because they make you make a video on why you're appealing it, and they give you these instructions that are just stupid. And so I just did my own style of appeal that maybe wasn't all that reverent to them, but in fact, it was very sarcastic and whatnot. But anyway, over on YouTube, first the chat is, well, speak of the devil, Tyrannus Alexandrius, the Invictus Lich. I don't know why I made that face. That was Invictus Lich. And okay. Also, good afternoon, Selecta Boy, yeah, boy. Mike Savage Blarg. Mike, my favorite liberal, is in the house. What's up? Let's see who else. Avocados Diabli, Tyler F, Furry Kitten, Attack Alpaca, what's happening? Good morning also, or good afternoon also to Judafine, what up? My friend Scribe Lights in the house. Dog Thrapple. Tex AG 007. Now, maybe Tex probably knows why I do that. Because it was taking me too long to do the 007 kind of song thing, dum 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 dum. So now I just go 007. I shorten that up a little bit. See? Because I already use a lot of time with Tyre's music, and it's getting challenging to have too many people. Anyway, let's keep. Who else is here? I'm overdoing this. Good afternoon, Simon Wolfwood. Good afternoon, Found. Yes, late start today. It is a very late start today. Eddie Haskell's in the house. Reacciona Puerto Rico is in the house. Good afternoon. And Pissed Off Shih Tzu. That's a new one. I've never done that before. That was weird. Okay, let's get into the show. Things that are happening in the world. Man, this is a sad thing, but so far I haven't heard any. Since I haven't heard any. This is not devastating news, but it is sad news in my mind. Bronny James, LeBron James' son, collapsed in a summer practice at USC, had a cardiac arrest, and sudden cardiac arrest, and a lot of people are getting on this the bandwagon about the jabs and this and that and whatever. At this point, because let me back up here. Let me back up. So me being a basketball guy, okay, I followed the careers of a lot of younger players because I was always, I was very involved in the AAU circuit, very involved in basketball. So I recognize a lot of players. And over the last 10, 15 years, especially when my son was still playing, and, we traveled the country on this circuit, right? And so, and Bronny James is one of the kids that were out there. Now, he's quite a bit younger than my son, but I remember when he started showing up in tournaments and stuff, and there's some other kids who are children of NBA players that are out there, and you see them, whatever. And so I just, anytime a kid collapses on the court, I don't care who it is. I don't care, whether you like LeBron James or not, whether you like, or even if it's some kid you never knew. I just don't want to hear this kind of stuff. And so, and it's tough because this kid, who has handled the limelight very well, because his life gets screwed. He got scrutinized because he's dating a white girl. Oh no, he's dating a white girl. Took a white girl to prom. So what? Who gives a fuck? And just everything about his life is scrutinized because he's LeBron James' son, and he's a good, really good basketball player too. Not every child of NBA players are great basketball players. Michael Jordan's kids couldn't play basketball. Okay. But other, players, kids do. So whatever. So, so it's tough for me to even watch the speculation. Because a lot of people are talking about the COVID vaccines and how they have caused injury to people around the world. Okay. And me being I'm skeptical of them myself, but it's not a reason to, maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe because I have a connection to the basketball world where I go, let's just not speculate on this kid. He's still a kid. He's what is he, what is it? I think he's going to be a freshman, maybe a sophomore in college. I can't remember. So anyway, it's devastating news. Now, of course, it becomes political just because the Fauci Jews and all that, right? And so, of course, the Daily Krasenstein, we have our Daily Krasenstein. We'll start with the Daily Krasenstein. Get this out of the way right now. Ed Krasenstein says, breaking, LeBron... Wait, I should do it in Ed Krasenstein voice, though. Breaking, LeBron James' son, Bronny, has suffered a cardiac arrest during a workout at USC. Bronny James is now in stable condition and out of the ICU, which is great. Fantastic. This could be devastating news for Bronny, who is expected to be a first-round pick in 2024. No, he wasn't. I don't think so. I think... Here, let's find out. Let's look up. What year was Bronny James? I think he's only a freshman. I don't think he was expected to be a first-round pick. He's a very good basketball player, but not a first-round pick basketball player. Maybe a second-round pick basketball player. If he was a first-round pick, only because of the family name, because there are lots of college players that would go ahead of Bronny James. But I digress. So back to the Daily Krasenstein here. He has to be under tremendous stress playing in the footsteps of his father, who is arguably the best NBA player ever. Yeah, arguably. That's the good thing you use that word, because no. LeBron James is not Michael Jordan. Sorry. I know all you LeBron James stands because he beat Kareem's scoring record, but there's a whole lot of other factors why he's not the greatest player ever. In fact, on my list, he comes in a close tie around there for third and fourth. I could flip my third and fourth, and I bet you have no idea who that might be. Because my first is, I'm still, I would say Michael Jordan still. And I personally would have Kobe Bryant at number 2 before LeBron James. A lot of people forget about Kobe Bryant when you get into that LeBron James, Michael Jordan argument. I say Kobe Bryant. And then I'd say LeBron James only beats out Larry Bird because of longevity. But Larry Bird had probably the most incredible 4-year run in the NBA of any player ever, where he had shot 51% from the field. He shot over 40% from the three-point line, 90% from the free throw line, and averaged 28 points a game over 4 freaking years. Only 2 other players have gone 50, 40, 90 and with 28 points or more in a single season, and that was Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Bird did it for 4 consecutive years, averaged over 4 years. And, maybe you don't, unless you don't know basketball, you just don't understand. Anyway, but anyway, I think LeBron is definitely in the top 5 greatest players of all time, as far as I'm concerned. And that's all through basketball history. There's a lot of different factors. You could say, oh, well, rings. Well, that would be Bill Russell. Or you could say Robert Horry was better than LeBron if you went just by rings. It's not just the rings that Michael Jordan won. So anyway, not going to talk about basketball because this is not a sports show. He's a step below Chris Mullin. Stop it. Stop it. That is funny. All right. So anyway, so lots of people talking about Bronny James, Hotep Jesus. Bronny James went into cardiac arrest. I guess I'll pretend like the vaccine isn't a suspect here, since that's what everyone else is doing. Yeah, I'm not even going to go there. There's all sorts of reasons why athletes can fall down. Now, look, it seems like it's been a few years where there have been more people collapsing and whatever having cardiac arrest, and that's true too. But it's uncommon, okay, because someone's trying to say, oh, it's not unusual for college athletes to die every year. Well, no, it's still a little unusual. These are people that are peak athletic, ability in their lives, young, between 20 and basically between 20 and 30. That's especially for male athletes. Anyway, let's get off this topic. So he's trending today, okay. Now, also coincidentally, the NCAA is trending. Oh, here now, and here's an example. Okay, let me go back. Because the NCAA is trending, and also because of this Bronny thing, and Dr. Peter McCullough, who I have respect for Dr. Peter McCullough. I think a lot of things he was saying about COVID when COVID was happening were true. But he was saying, how many more will it take before athletes and public figures come out and talk about COVID vaccines and cardiac arrest? Simply yes or no is a good start with the smallest morsel of courage from patient and family. Well, we don't know. We can speculate on that, but even someone I respect like Dr. Peter McCullough, you can't automatically go there just because Bronny's son suffered this. Let's see. Yeah, and then there's a whole thread there. I'll leave that. I'll put that in the links there today too, though. But the NCAA is trending too, and that wasn't related to that. A couple things happening in the NCAA, and I know it's not a sports show, but apparently, there's a whole bunch of things happening. Jim Harbaugh, the coach of University of Michigan, possibly he could miss the first 4 games stemming from the NCAA investigation into Michigan's recruiting. Now, my buddy Jim, I've met Jim Harbaugh. Good guy. I met him when he was still a quarterback at Michigan, though. We went to the Michigan-Iowa game when they were number 1 and number 2 in the country. Me and my friends, a couple friends, road tripped out there. One of the greatest trips ever, by the way, because I had a friend who worked in the athletics department at the University of Michigan who got us recruit badges. So we got to pretend to be recruits, and we got to go on the field during the game. We got seats right up in front, got to hang out with a couple of players afterwards, and then we got to for whatever reason, it was also the night that NXS was opening their world tour, and they just happened to be opening it in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And my friend who worked in the athletic department there, it was at an event that was part of the University of Michigan or whatever. And so he also was one of the people who got people to do security for those events. So he got us security badges, and we got to stand on this, like, the stage was right in our chest when NXS started their world tour, the Kick Tour. I need you tonight. Do 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 do. 'Cause I'm not sleeping. Doom 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 doom. There's something about you, girl. Doom 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 that makes me sweat. I love that song. That was like the coolest song back then. Anyway, so yeah, that was quite a weekend. And then we got to go out drinking with Jim Harbaugh and Jumbo Elliott, the All-American tackle and their All-American quarterback, and it was a fun time. Anyway, that's it's kind of old stories. So anyway, but my buddy Jim might be suspended, and it's on the Ohio State football fan page. They're loving it. So anyway, Jim Harbaugh to the NCAA when he comes back from his suspension. To win the Natty, fuck you. Okay, that's funny. You can't even see that. I'll put this on the screen. This is Jim Harbaugh. When he comes back from the suspension at Michigan and supposedly coming back to win the national championship. I don't know if that's going to happen. Those SEC teams are too tough. Okay, a little bit too much sport talk today. Other reasons the NCAA is trending. Well, here's because everyone's favorite swimmer. Oh, this is an old story. Well, I'll put it up anyway. Everyone's favorite swimmer, Leah Thomas, apparently is embracing Antifa now. Controversial NCAA swimming champion Leah Thomas is stirring the pot once again, this time by posting images on social media showing Leah Thomas, I'm not going to say him or her, modeling a militaristic t-shirt in support of the domestic terror group Antifa. Where Antifa Super Soldier. Now that's actually, Antifa Super Soldier was actually a joke, but then they kind of embraced the joke, so yippee. Leah Thomas is into Antifa. I'll leave that one in there. All right, also trending. Now, a lot of you know, hi, Jack Gunsky. How you doing, my brother? I see you over there on Rumble. And also, what Woodcut, did I see you say hi this morning, or this afternoon? Woodcut, how you doing? Yeah, also LeBron, son. Yeah, you just missed it. You must have just got here because I just got done talking about that. So, everyone here knows that my part-time morning gig is at UPS, United Parcel Service. And when you work at United Parcel Service, you are forced to be a member of the Teamsters. If you're in Minnesota, there is no right to work law, so I am a member of the Teamsters, local, I can't remember, 149 or something like that. And everyone was asking me, okay, let's see, what's going to happen if you guys go on strike? I'm like, well, I guess I'll go on strike. I actually have 2 weeks vacation in August already because of that Hawaii trip we paid for a year ago, and because I'm having surgery at the end of August. So, but lo and behold, today, this tweet came out, and everyone will be rejoicing in my hub because nobody really wanted to go on strike anyway. We've changed the game. Teamsters win historic UPS contract. I chuckle a little bit at this, okay? Because the contract negotiations come up all the time, right? We do them. I've been through this 6-7 times now since in my 16 whatever years at UPS, and every time we have a new contract, they do something like this. Now, I don't know if it's groundbreaking. I'll find it. I haven't even paid attention to it. I'm a part-timer. I have 7 more years before I retire from there. And I don't do a whole lot of hard work there. Anyway, I'm old enough and I've been around long enough that I can pick the jobs I want to do there. But today the Teamsters reached the most historic tentative agreement for workers in the history of UPS, protecting and rewarding more than 340,000 UPS Teamsters nationwide. And oh boy, the Democrats are loving this, and whatever, great. I hope what my problem with problem with the negotiations always has been, they haven't in the past done jack for the part-time UPSers who are almost as integral to UPS as anything that happens there, because a vast majority of the people who work for UPS are the part-timers. It's not the drivers; it's the people who load the trucks and do all that other stuff. And they haven't done a great job over the many years. All these contracts. Well, what they do for the part-timers? Oh, yeah. Well, we got this. Oh, really? They got all this other stuff for everybody else, but the people who make sure that those guys, the glory jobs at UPS, they always forget about us. So apparently this time they were doing something for us. Let's see. Let's look at the Reuters article on this, because we'll see what they say here. UPS and its Teamsters union have signed a tentative contract deal for about 340,000 U.S. workers at the parcel delivery firm, 1 week ahead of a threatened strike that could have cost the economy billions and disrupted a quarter of the nation's package shipments. We are, the post office is still bigger. They still do the most packages, but we're the largest private package carrier in the world. Tuesday's agreement, which must be ratified by union members, cinches another win for transportation labor groups. Now, it's funny. This sounds like a Teamster press release at Reuters, which it probably just is. But I'm going to continue, because notice how they're making it. It's a huge win for the union. It may be, but it's also a win for UPS. It's a win for look. Nothing works in private businesses with a union if there's not a win-win for the company and for the union. It does not work, and that's why I have no problem if people want to unionize private companies and they're negotiating basically on the profit of the company and whatever, because the company actually produces something. The company actually makes a profit on something that's of value to people. I cannot stand public employee unions, because public employee unions have they're negotiating against who? They're negotiating against the taxpayer. They're not negotiating against the government. The government, if people really want to get elected and want the public employee unions to, get everyone else out to vote for their party, Democrats, that's a pretty easy gig. Teachers unions. Why do you think the teachers unions are so much into Democrats? Because Democrats will just give them whatever they want to give them money, always, constantly. Well, that's a public employee union. You're negotiating against the taxpayer. Private unions, private corporations that, unions that are for private companies. At least you're negotiating against a business that is making money off your labor. And, there's a symbiotic relationship between the union and the company, and they have to have a win-win. Otherwise, if the company loses, there's no company. If the union loses, there's no workers. There's a balance. Not with public employee unions. They can just say, "Oh, well, hey, it's the government's money." Well, here's the thing. Here's a proverb for the current year. Well, it's actually a proverb for forever. Governments do not produce anything except for force. Yeah, that's a pretty good one, isn't it? I made that up the other day. Governments don't produce anything but force. They don't produce healthcare. They want to give you healthcare. Well, they don't produce healthcare, but they can force others to produce healthcare, or they can take money from somebody else to give from Peter to give healthcare to Paul. They don't produce any of it. They just produce force. Governments control you at the end of a gun. So there you go. Real quick, thank you, Tyre Alexander, for sponsoring the show, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Tyre Alexander, for dropping a... Oh, that's Tyler F. I thought it was Tyre Alexander. Tyler F, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. I'm embarrassed. Thank you, Tyler F, who says... Oh no, this is awesome. Just welcomed second daughter into the world a few hours ago. Congratulations. That's awesome. Oh, what did I do there? Oh, that is so cool. Congratulations. Everyone give a big congratulations to Tyler F. And you're throwing money at me. Don't throw money at me. Just put it in the chat. I'm so happy for you, man. Good for you. Thank you. Now the rest of you, you can throw money in the tip jar. pdognight.live. That's the Streamlabs. Because I'm demonetized at YouTube. Just a reminder, I'm demonetized YouTube. Okay. So anyway, back in this Teamsters agreement. Let's go here. And yeah, we were supposed to strike next week. And you know what's funny? So I have a total of 18 years with UPS. And contract negotiations have every time gone down to the last week. And it's always been a threat of a strike. We've never had one at UPS since I've been there. Now, they did have, I worked for UPS for 2 years at one point, and I left. And I came back a couple years later. That was the only time I've ever heard of UPS having a strike, and that little hiatus that I was not there. So I guess that worked out okay. Because strikes are a pain in the ass. I got to tell you, as far as I don't know. I've never been through one, but I know my parents went through a teacher strike one time in Omaha. And it was a pain in the ass because you know what? They get this war chest and they try to make it so they can pay you and make sure you can pay your bills and stuff. But you have to show up to picket and sign in. And it's just stupid. But anyway, so the planned August 1st strike by workers at UPS, which handles about 20 million packages a day across the United States, could have driven customers into the arms of rivals like FedEx, which is still embroiled in talks with its pilots union. Yeah, see, it's interesting because FedEx pilots have a union, but I think that's the only part of FedEx that has a union. The contract set a new standard in the labor movement and raises the bar for all workers. International Brotherhood of Teamsters President Sean O'Brien said, I guess I'll find out. I'll have to see what it is. If it doesn't raise my pay, then it doesn't raise the bar for me because we already have great benefits there. And I don't know, last time, yeah, it was supposed to be this great contract, and I'm like, wait a minute, why are they taking out more union dues? That was the only thing that affected us, the people in the part-time area. Well, they raised the union dues. Oh, they raised the deductibles on some of our health care, which is ours is pretty low. I cannot complain about the health care I get from UPS. It's fantastic, but after that last contract negotiation, I had higher union dues and higher deductibles. That's all the part-timers got. So anyway. The Teamsters said the contract provides historic wage increases. Well, I hope so. That'd be fantastic because all the people they've been hiring in the last couple of years started at almost what I've been making after 18 years. Anyway, and one more paid holiday and air conditioning in the company's ubiquitous brown delivery trucks. Oh yeah, those are the things they kind of did. They're getting air conditioning in the trucks. They're getting fans in some of the trucker, the big doors, whatever. It's stuff that I don't give a shit about. I mean, great. You've had non-air conditioned trucks for over 106 years. Yay, air conditioned trucks. And in the company, it also eliminates a 2-tier pay system and forced overtime for delivery drivers. Oh my God. You know what? Most of the drivers I know at UPS, I know a lot of the drivers. I know a lot of them. Hello, Siri Wright, by the way. Sure, you're right. Sure, you're right, even though I say Siri right every time. Hello, sure, you're right. Yeah, good afternoon. Did I say good morning? I meant good afternoon. Look, The forced overtime is usually during peak. Now, I am one of those people who so here's the thing at UPS, at least the part-timers. Now, this is different for the drivers, but for the part-timers, anything over 5 hours in a day is overtime. Anything over 40 hours in a week is double time. And a lot of people during the peak time, between roughly a week before Thanksgiving through the first week of January, a lot of people work a lot of extra hours. Like you work a lot of extra hours if you want to, but most of the people are still getting near that 40-hour mark as part timers because there's a lot more time to do things, right? And the drivers, theirs was like if it was 8 hours, I think 8 hours they got overtime, and then I think it was 10 hours they get double time and whatever. The drivers make like a third of their year's income over peak, over the 6 weeks basically from middle of November till the second week of January, because they all drive a lot of overtime, whatever. I don't know and so a lot of the drivers are like, yeah, we love peak. We make all our money that time. So I don't know, so I'm not sure with the forced overtime. They also have tons of temporary drivers. They bring in people from all over the place to help out during peak. But during the regular time of the year, it's not forced overtime. Anyway, he said, we demanded the best contract in the history of UPS, and we got it, O'Brien said, adding that UPS put $30 billion in new money on the table without a single concession from the union. We've changed the game. Well, UPS has made a lot of extra profit in the last few years, especially with COVID. COVID was very, very good to UPS. And so, it's probably easier to negotiate with a company that has shit ton of money in the coffers than it would be if it was a lean time for UPS. So interesting. Interesting though, because a lot of people get buy stock in UPS that work for UPS. They have a really good stock buying program if you want to participate in. UPS declined to comment directly on O'Brien's estimate. The company, which said it is best positioned to assess the financial impact of the agreement, plans to update guidance during a second quarter earnings call on August 8th. Shares in UPS closed down 1.9% to 184.69 on Tuesday after initially rallying 1.6% following the announcement. The agreement continues to reward UPS full-time and part-time employees with industry-leading pay and benefits while retaining the flexibility we need to stay competitive, UPS CEO Carol Tomé said. So now, look, and it's interesting because Democrats have been just I would laugh because Democrats have been pumping up UPS employees, Nancy Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and it was so they're excited for the UPS people. I think this thing flipped. So interesting because Tom Fitton, Teamsters proposing a strike next week that could bankrupt one of America's biggest trucking companies and cause 30,000 workers to lose their jobs. Well, that's no longer going to happen. Thanks, Tom. That was a few days ago. So this announcement, the 10-day agreement called historic and overwhelmingly lucrative. It includes, among other benefits, higher wages and air-conditioned delivery trucks. So congratulations to my fellow UPSers. All right, let's move on because I've spent way longer on that. I spent longer on that because it directly affects me. Okay, other things trending. MAGA Republicans are trending because it almost trends every day. But it's a combination of people bitching about MAGA Republicans, those MAGA Republicans, and other people saying, MAGA Republicans are just fine. Okay? So you have people like, for example, even Tulsi Gabbard. Now, this is interesting. Tulsi Gabbard says the greatest threat to our democracy is not MAGA Republicans or parents protesting the sexualization of our kids at school, board meetings, but the Democratic elite. Yes, the fascist Democrats. Well, On the other side of it, there's someone like let's see who else. Someone was bitching about this guy. The more things improve with Biden as president, the more angry the MAGA Republicans get. Okay, they're on this really weird Bidenomics kick. We talked about this the other day, where they're trying to gaslighting you into believing that this Biden economy is amazing, right? They want you to forget that prices since the inflation over the term of Biden administration is total about 16-17% right now. Okay, yeah, they keep touting, they brought inflation down. The prices have come down. No, that's not true. Inflation is still relatively high if you compare it to the last administration. It's over 3%. And that doesn't mean that prices came down. That means the rate of increase has slowed. But they try to make it because, it was from a high of 9.1% a year ago. You mean when you were president, Joe? And it was 4.6% the year before, and it's 3% this year. So you got a net 16% increase in prices since you became president. That 9.1% a year ago. So anyway, so this guy, let's see here. Let's hear what this they are excited about this guy. Let's see what this guy says. This is I don't know who this is. This is some Democrat.
Most of the American people won't even miss if the government is shut down temporarily. But our speaker has an opportunity to be a transformational historical speaker that stared down the Democrats, that stared down the free spenders, that stared down the president and said, no,
this is a
we're going to do what the American people elected us to do. And the House is going to say no. We're going to pass a good Republican bill out of the House and force the Senate and the White House to accept it.
Okay, I'm not sure what he's talking about there. But anyway, but people are, there's the rich from California who's one of these Democratic Twitter, talking point people bitching about Marjorie Taylor Greene. But let me move on, because one of the best MAGA things that are on, or MAGA Republican things on the internet right now, and you'll appreciate this, comes from none other than the woman who will never be president. Yes. Hillary Rodham Clinton. Hillary Rodham Clinton tweeted something really stupid. Hillary Clinton blames MAGA Republicans for making it hot outside. And here it is. Hot enough for you? Thank a MAGA Republican, or better yet, vote them out of office. And then she puts up this cap action tweet. MAGA Republicans are pouring fuel on the climate crisis fire. Now, this is interesting. So they're blaming Republicans for the weather. And so they talk about Phoenix hits record for 19th day of 110 degrees in a row with more ahead. CNN headline, 39-day heat wave could last into August after smashing 2,300 plus records. They're on this kick. Now remember, because CNN, after the pandemic, said their next big thing they're going to talk about, they're going to try to push, is climate change, right? And that's everyone's push, because now COVID is gone. They've already experimented how they can control your life because of COVID, and they're going to try to apply some of those same principles to the crisis of climate change. Now, again, I try to remind you, and one of my slogans is, yes, climate change. One of my slogans is global warming ever since the Ice Age. Because we had a little ice age in, the mid 1800s, and we're just coming out of that. And so you expect that there would be warming, and as, it's funny because have you ever had a glass full of ice, okay, a glass full of ice, and the ice melts, right? And it takes the early ice, it takes a little while for it to melt, right? But once you get towards the end of the ice, then the ice melts pretty quickly, especially if you're in a warm place. And so, even this stuff with the glaciers that have melted. Well, yes, the glaciers have been melting ever since the Ice Age, so mini Ice Age in the 1850s. And then when they say the other part of this, they talk about these every other day you hear about, oh, it's the hottest day, and blah, 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 blah. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I started realizing this probably about 4 years ago. When they say, every time they say, it's this is the Earth's hottest day in history, or whatever. This is Earth's hottest day. Do you ever notice that the only times they do that, I've never heard them do it at any other time of the year than summer in the northern hemisphere? Anyone else ever notice that? You will never hear them say in the middle of winter in the northern hemisphere, when there's a cold wave, that it's Earth's hottest day. It's always northern hemisphere. And why do you think that is? Well, first of all, they most of NOLA, or whatever it is, not NOLA, what is it, the United Nations something on climate change. Well, most of their countries that participate in that are in the northern hemisphere. Also, do you remember, now I distinctly remember, this is the early 2000s. In the early 2000s, do you remember when they made adjustments to the temperature record? Because they felt that they had computer models that said, oh, they probably weren't as accurate as they should have been. So they made adjustments to the temperature record. And it all became, rather than, all these peaks and valleys, it all became a gradual slope of increasing temperature over the years. Anyone remember that? And it was, they announced it. This isn't even a conspiracy theory. They announced that they were adjusting the temperature record to adjust for possible corrections, right? And when they did that, the records that you're seeing right now, supposed records, they would not have been records, because in the 1930s there were times where all of these records, all of the records would have been higher in the 1930s, but they changed the time record. And they also, when they say it was Earth's hottest day in over 100,000 years, well, that's a complete lie. I've been watching a lot of these videos, and there are science, and also they debunk the 97% of climate scientists agree, blah blah blah. It's actually 30%, because 60-some% of them were neutral on it, and so they just dumped all the neutral answers to that survey and only counted the yays and the nays, when a vast majority of the scientists were neutral on the topic. Now, you may not have that now because you can't get grant money if you deny global warming. But the temperature records for based on core temperatures and whatever, this is a whole bunch of bullshit. No, it's not the Earth's hottest day over 100,000 years. There were hotter periods in the 1400s. 100,000 years. Yeah, there are hotter periods in the 1400s. There are hotter periods in the not the 1850s. That was the little ice age. There have been swings of temperatures that are, if you go back to certain times, 6 to 7 degrees higher than average temperature than now, based on core temperatures. But they have a crisis to sell. They have a crisis to sell. So cap action here. MAGA Republicans are pouring fuel on the climate crisis. How can MAGA Republicans pour fuel on the climate crisis fire when you had the Democrat Congress and a Democrat president not that long ago. Now, granted, the Republicans took over the House, but how are they pouring? How? What are you talking about? Embrace climate change. Fuck this planet. And also, here's the thing. During that time when remember COVID and the whole world basically shut down, and you'd think that the carbon in this air would have slowed dramatically, at least for 2 years, and it didn't. And yet it didn't. Well, that's interesting, because I thought it was humans that were increasing the CO2 in the air. Although, what is it? CO2 is like 0.02% of the inert gas in the atmosphere, and then we contribute about 2% of that to 2 to 4% of that. But you still need it. It's life-giving to plants, and plants are life-giving to most animals, and animals, well, are quite tasty. Sorry, PETA. But anyway, so Hillary Clinton took to Twitter on Tuesday to blast MAGA Republicans for the recent summer heat wave hitting communities nationwide. Her Clinton social media post came in response to a tweet from the left-wing think tank Center for American Progress, which stated, MAGA Republicans are pouring fuel on the climate crisis fire. The post included an image of recent media stories highlighting the most recent spate of high temperatures in the U.S. and noted that Republicans voted against the Inflation Reduction Act. Wait a minute. The Inflation Reduction Act? Oh, because it was actually a Climate Reduction Act, which President Biden signed into law in 2022. Hot enough for you? Thank a MAGA Republican. Go fuck yourself, Hillary Clinton, because Bill ain't doing it. Former Secretary of State and Democratic president nominee post comes a bit above average summer temperatures. Democrats have been quick to blame climate change, though some climate experts like Ryan Maus, the former top climate scientist at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, have noted that heat waves are not new. Oh, that's fantastic. Heat waves are not new. Without climate change, July's summer heat in the U.S. and Southwest would have been virtually impossible. Maui tweeted in Tuesday, I guess that's true if you memory hole 1925, 1930s, the 1950s, 1980, 1985, 1990, 1995, 2012, 2020, etc., and the rest of the almanac. Yeah, because there have been hot summer heat waves a lot of years. In a separate post, Maui noted that Clinton's post was made just 8 days after a New York Times editorial calling on leaders to politicize the weather. Well, congratulations, Hillary Clinton, you are a clown. According to Fox Forecast Center, this week was set to be the hottest week of the summer, as shifting upper air pattern will plunge the East Coast into dangerous heat and humidity. Okay, there you go. An estimated 75% of the nation will be blanketed in warmer than average temperatures on Wednesday. It's funny because we had a cold wave earlier this year, and they certainly didn't say, oh, hey, it's cooler. It's colder than it's normally. No, they only notice when it's hot. And it's funny because also you'll notice when you start looking at these maps, they've changed the color they use on the maps. Okay. You notice how they use these dark reds and this fire yellow, and they try to make it look all ominous and shit. Come on. They should read some history books. In the summer of 1871, there were massive wildfires throughout Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Canada due to hot, dry conditions. These conditions are not new. Also, see conditions during the Dust Bowl. Yeah, during the Dust Bowl, it was a whole year, or not a whole year, but an entire summer. Almost no participation. Everyone, it was bad. It was bad shit. So that's funny though. MAGA Republicans change the weather. All right, let's move on. Let's get into what my main topic of the day, and that, of course, is the Biden crime family. because there's some more revelations about the Biden crime family. Now, I'm going to my favorite, one of my favorite blogs, news sources, whatever, Ace of Spades here. And according to a source, the FBI informed alleged prosecutor David Weiss, that's the prosecutor in the Hunter Biden case, that it had already verified many of the bribery claims by I don't know what the CHS is. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Is that the Federalist article? Let's see here. Where am I? There's the tab. Oh, I skipped a tab. Hang on a second. Is that what I meant to do? Oh, okay. I just moved it over. Let's put this back where, not there. This one back here. Okay, here we go. And then they reference this article in the Federalist. And so let's just go through some of this, because we talked about how his business partner is going to testify before Congress and in front and behind closed doors of the committee, saying that Hunter would call his dad, and we'd talk on the phone with our business dealers, and we'd get him on the horn and whatever. So the details confirmed are not the specific allegations of bribery the CHS reported. Rather, the details concerning underlying facts, like the CHS being where he was, confidential human source, excuse me, that's what the CHS is, where he was, and in contact with the people he said he had spoken to. The FBI found that given that everything that could be fact-checked turned out to be genuine, the claims bore indicia of credibility and merited further investigation. So in the Federalist, they wrote, when the Pittsburgh FBI office briefed the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office on evidence implicating Hunter and Joe Biden in a bribery scheme, the agents also told the Delaware team they had already corroborated several aspects of the confidential human sources claims. An individual familiar with the briefing told the Federalist. Now, you know me and individuals familiar with the briefings, I don't like those kinds of sources. Grain of salt added, about the size of a horse lick. But anyway, we'll continue. On Thursday, Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican of Iowa, released the FD 1023 summary of a confidential human sources reporting that the Ukrainian oil and gas company Burisma paid Hunter and Joe Biden $5 million each in bribes. So that the then vice president would, quote, protect, end quote, Burisma from all kinds of problems. Those bribes were in addition to the more than $4 million in total paid to Hunter Biden and his business partner Devin Archer for sitting on Burisma's board of directors. The Federalist also has learned that the Pittsburgh FBI office had corroborated several details contained in the FD. What the hell are you there? Sorry, I just need to stop that, what I did. Okay, they corroborated several details contained in the FD 1023 as part of the intake process that a former Attorney General William Barr established before the election under the leadership of the Western District of Pennsylvania, then U.S. Attorney Scott Brady. Significantly, in the briefing, the Delaware U.S. attorneys on the results of their office screening of evidence related to Ukraine, the Pittsburgh FBI agents told the Delaware office they had corroborated multiple facts included in the FD 1023. An individual with knowledge of the briefing told the Federalist. And again, I don't like the sourcing, but, sometimes you have to have confidential sources. And then they previously reported during their briefing, the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office, the Pittsburgh FBI agent said the FD 1023 bore indicia of credibility, and that it merited further investigation. The person familiar with that briefing now confirms the agents also informed the Delaware office that the Pittsburgh FBI had corroborated the CHS confidential human source, presence in the various cities at the time they claimed. So they did say that the source, they corroborated evidence that person was where they said they were when they said the things happened. Now, here's the part down here, though, I want to get to. The Pittsburgh FBI office not only provided the Delaware office with a summary of the damning FD 1023, that's the report, by the way, if you didn't know that, and its conclusion that bore indicia of credibility, but also identified several pieces of corroborating evidence is huge because to date, it appears the Delaware office did nothing to investigate the allegations contained in that particular document. Not only did the Delaware office apparently ignore the allegations contained in the document, as well as the corroborating evidence already allegedly accumulated by the Pittsburgh FBI office, but U.S. Attorney David Weiss, his office allegedly secreted the very existence of the FD-23 from the whistleblowers. Both IRS whistleblowers testified last week they did not even learn of the existence of the FD-1023 until Barr publicly confirmed he had sent the information to Delaware for further investigation. Delaware U.S. Assistant Attorney Leslie Wolf also excluded the IRS agents working the Hunter Biden investigation from the meeting at which these Pittsburgh FBI agents briefed the office on the FD-1023 and the corroborating evidence they had already uncovered. The IRS whistleblowers further testified that portions of Hunter Biden's laptop were withheld from them, and they were explicitly prohibited from taking any investigative steps connected to Joe Biden or questioning anyone using Joe Biden's name, Dad or the big guy. So they basically said you're not allowed to investigate Joe Biden at all. They wouldn't let you couldn't even mention him. Now, one of Hunter Biden's business partners is ready to testify to Congress that Joe Biden spoke with Hunter's foreign business partner over 200 times. We talked about that one yesterday, where Devin Archer, I think his name is, he's going to testify that his knowledge of how many times that, Biden, how Biden, remember Biden claimed that he'd never talked to these people, never had any business dealing with these people. He never knew any of these people, but then he has pictures with them. Now, pictures with the president doesn't really mean anything. A lot of people can take a picture with you and you don't know who the fuck they are, right? Like, you're out in the street and the celebrity's out in the street and, hey, can I take a selfie with you? Oh, yeah, here's the selfie. Oh, why do you have a selfie with the son of Sam? I don't know. I don't even know the son of Sam. Well, here's a picture of you with the son of Sam. So, celebrities, think about it before you take pictures of people. But anyway, but we know that Devin Archer, there's pictures of them golfing together. Archer's going to testify that they talked with some of the bosses at Burisma, with Joe Biden there on the phone. They said Hunter Biden, they would be talking to somebody in one of the leaders in Ukraine, and they would go get the big guy on the horn. And they put him on the speaker and they'd talk to him. Now, I don't know if it's just Hunter Biden showing off that, oh, yeah, well, my dad's vice president of the United States. But then there's other evidence that's saying, oh, the Burisma people bribed them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, in anticipation of that testimony from Devin Archer, that and contradiction of Biden's long-maintained lies, Karine Jean-Pierre has tacitly shifted the White House position on whether or not Joe Biden ever spoke to Hunter about his business or spoke to his business partners. Now remember, because that was used to be the line, that he's never spoken to Hunter about his business or ever spoke to his business partners. Well, whereas the previous line was that Joe never ever spoke about Hunter's business or spoke to his business partners at all, now she only says that Joe Biden was not in business with, or was not in business with Hunter Biden. Remember, he used to say, I've never even spoken to him, I never talked to him, never blah, blah, blah. But now, the line, listen, well, here, you can read it. Here it's from the press conference. We'll click this little X video here. Maybe. Here we go. This is a good video, if it ever plays. Oh, well, it's silent. Hey, oh, what the hell's going on here? X gonna give it to you. Advocatus Diablo already made that joke. Or was that Scribe?
Chairman James Comer today says that the Oversight Committee, has evidence that the president in the past communicated directly with
listen to her answer carefully because it's a different
Hunter
answer.
Biden many times. curious if the White House and the president still stand behind his comment that he's never been involved and has never even spoken to his son about his business.
So I've been.
Might I just note, by the way, that this reporter is a fine individual.
This question a million times. The answer is not going.
I'm sorry, I gotta. Let's just play it again because I kind of stepped on
Today
it.
says that the Oversight Committee, has evidence that the president in the past communicated directly with foreign business associates of his son Hunter Biden many times. Curious if the White House and the president still stand behind his comment that he's never been involved and has never even spoken to his son about his business.
So I've been asked this question a million times. The answer is not going to change. The answer remains the same. The president was never in business with his son. I just don't have.
That is a different answer. What do you mean? What? The answer's never going to change? Listen to this answer carefully.
To change. The answer remains the same. The president was never in business with his son. I just don't have anything else to add.
The president was never in business with his son. Notice now someone said something about AD said the goalpost change. That's a huge goalpost change. That is a huge goalpost change. In fact, let me see if they got the other clip. Oh, here's the clip. Here's Joe Biden talking about this. Oh, no, they're not. No, that's not the clip. I thought that they had the clip. In fact, during one of his, when he was running for president, and remember the guy he called fat in Iowa? When the guy fat asked him about this, with you being in business with your son, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I have never spoken with any of Hunter's business partners or business associates, nobody, never talked to him, never looked at him, never saw their pictures, never took a picture on the golf course. I didn't do anything, fat. You want to do some push-ups? Let's have a push-up contest. Remember that guy? That's a big change in answer from, well, I've never even talked to them. Oh, now it's never done business with them? The White House says Joe Biden was never in business with his son. This comes just hours after Hunter Biden's ex-business partner revealed that then Vice President Joe Biden spoke by phone with Hunter's overseas business partners at least 24 damn times. And Joe Biden even used taxpayer dollars to fly to Dubai with Hunter in December 2015 to meet with the board of Burisma, the Ukraine energy company, paying Hunter $83,000 a month. So, but now it's, well, he was never in business with the son. That's a big change. That's a big change. And it's funny because a couple people are noting that how this is not being reported. For example, here's Molly Hemingway. New York Times readers are the most criminally misinformed people on the planet. So you look up Grassley, Biden, Burisma. And all it is, the only article that comes up, Republicans vow or escalating attacks on FBI. Vow to hold director accountable. Okay, that's freaking brilliant. So we're going to move on also. Oh, wait, that's, what's this? Oh, this is the one I got to move all the way to the end. Actually, I can just close that one because I'm not going to do any more of that. More from Ace of Spades, though. And this is more revelations even early from today. Of course, very close associate of Joe Biden was working in David Weiss's office during the Hunter Biden investigation. Oh, yeah. So listen. So David Weiss is one of the U.S. attorneys involved, supposedly charging Hunter Biden, right? Well, a close associate of the Biden family appears to have spent years working in the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office, including during the months when whistleblowers said the office took up an investigation of Hunter Biden. Alexander Mackler served as press secretary in Joe Biden's Senate office and later as legal counsel in his vice presidential office. Mackler managed the late Beau Biden's successful campaign for Delaware Attorney General, and Mackler served on the Biden-Harris transition team in 2020, helping the Biden administration create a blueprint for its Justice Department. Here's the kicker. Mackler also appeared to have a close personal relationship with Hunter Biden, although not as close as like Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. But anyway, in emails found on Hunter Biden's laptop, Mackler corresponded frequently with Hunter Biden and his business associates, and even referred to Hunter Biden fondly as a brother. In October 2018, Mackler was working under U.S. Attorney David Weiss in the office at that time, according to his LinkedIn page, which lists him as having worked in the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office from 2016 to May 2019. So, now remember, Hunter Biden was tipped off about the investigatory steps. Assistant U.S. Attorney Leslie Wolf featured prominently in the testimony of two IRS agents who spent years working on the Hunter Biden investigation. Both Gary Shapley and Ziegler, the IRS whistleblowers, said Wolf intervened to stop multiple investigative steps moving forward, including by preventing FBI agents from asking witnesses any question about Joe Biden's involvement in foreign business affairs, and by tipping off Hunter Biden's attorneys about a planned search of his storage unit.
Wow.
Wolf worked alongside Mackler in the U.S. Attorney's Office. Before Mackler's departure, she and Mackler prosecuted a major case together, for example. Now, how the relationship may have factored into the decisions by Wolf that whistleblowers found inexplicable remain unclear. Now, what's that from? Is that that's from the Washington Examiner. Now, unclear, but I can glimpse into the general outlines, I think. Mackler's deep connections to the Biden family raised questions about whether he should have ever come close to an investigation involving the Biden. Oh, you think? And he emailed with Hunter Biden and Eric Schorn, one of Hunter Biden's business partners, on what appears to be the first day of his new job at the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office to talk about the office's email retention policy. Now, and then Ace adds in, I can only think of one reason why these scumbags would be interested in an office's email retention policy, feared that what they might say later would be subpoenaed in a lawsuit or prosecution. Schwerin joked to Mackler that his response was, "The last email you ever received from me." There you go. Days after Mackler had started working for the U.S. Attorney's Office, he was still working with the Bidens, according to Hunter Biden's emails. Mackler helped edit public statements related to the launch of an institute where Joe Biden's name at the University of Delaware while working for the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office, for example. So, remember, and, David Weiss was appointed by Trump. The media loves telling you that. They failed to mention that U.S. attorneys are picked by a president off a list submitted by the senators from the state the U.S. attorneys will be assigned to. In this case, the senators are gonzo left-wingers Chris Coons and Tom Carper. So anyway, let's see. I don't think any of these hyper-partisans searched through their Rolodexes to submit the names of ultra-MAGA Republicans to Trump. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. So anyway, now here's Margaret Brennan. This is funny too, of CBS News, who first tries to get a liberal Republican, aka Chris Christie, to say that Republicans should just move on from Hunter Biden. Now, to his credit, he didn't buckle too badly here. When he fails, when that fails, and when the portly pontificator unexpectedly points out that it sure looks like someone is politically interfering in the case, she turns to her DNC talking points and babbles, and you know that the U.S. attorneys in Delaware are appointed by former President Trump. Big fucking deal! They get a list from the senators from that state, and then they pick them. So it's, again, Chris Coons and whatever the other jackhole's name, Tom Carper, we're not going to be picking any MAGA Republicans to be the U.S. attorney from Delaware. Anyway, here's Margaret Brennan trying to get Chris Christie to buckle. And Chris Christie, again, to his credit, is like, well, this looks pretty shitty. What are you talking about?
There are so many legal issues in this campaign, and I want to ask you about one involving the president's son, Hunter Biden, who's going to appear in court this week to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges and will enter into an agreement that could avert conviction on a gun-related charge.
Which is a freaking joke.
The deal has infuriated many congressional Republicans who are holding their own hearings, and I wonder... Oh,
did you see how she did that? Did you see how... Look at this. I'm going to show you this again. Look what she did here. Let me full screen this. Look what she did when she said that. Like the disdain she has for congressional Republicans. Watch this. See, let's go back to here.
Misdemeanor tax charges and will enter into an agreement that could avert conviction on a gun-related charge. The deal has infuriated many congressional Republicans who are holding their own hearing.
Did you see that? They're holding their own, like exasperated. They're holding their own, like they're stupid. Like she thinks they're stupid. Hi, Brett Hayes. How you doing? She thinks they're stupid.
And I wonder, after this plea happens, if you would advise your party to move on.
Like CBS News would like you to do, and Margaret Brennan would like you to do. I wonder if Margaret Brennan has any inkling of a relationship to John Brennan. I wonder. I'm curious.
No, I wouldn't, Margaret, and here's why.
Yeah.
The conduct here by the U.S. Attorney in Delaware and by the Justice Department, it just can't be justified.
It's abhorrent.
It doesn't take 5 years, Margaret. As you mentioned, I was the U.S. Attorney in the 5th largest office in the country for 7 years during the Bush administration. It does not take 5 years to investigate 2 misdemeanor tax counts and to dismiss a gun charge. And we need to know what they were investigating and why these are the charges they concluded to. This is not just any person. This is the son of the President of the United States. And while justice needs to be equal, it needs to be equal. And it doesn't appear to me that this is the way to do it. And I would say one thing on the gun
Chris
charge.
Christie.
I mean, this is a case where Democrats yell and scream for more new gun laws in the country. Yet you hear no Democrat yelling about the fact that Hunter Biden intentionally lied on his gun permit application, mishandled the gun.
Look, she don't even want to look at the screen. She's just looking down. She doesn't even want to look at the screen. She's just trying to avoid even looking at him now, because this is not the answer she wanted. She wanted him to say, yeah, we've kind of, run this into the dirt and we should probably just let go of this. No. And she's not getting what she wants. Sorry, babe.
With a false permit application and faces.
Oh, did you hear how she looked? Look at her body language. Like, I just want you to shut. I just want you to shut up. That her body language. Listen, look at her when she does this again. Watch this.
On his gun permit application.
Okay, so look, she didn't want to. She didn't want to listen.
After he received it
now,
with
watch.
a false permit application.
Just shuffling papers around. In the middle of a sentence, like she's not really listening at all. Do you see that? That is so funny. That is hilarious. Yeah, her zing is going to be, well, this is a Trump-appointed attorney, U.S. attorney. So what?
No penalty.
She's not even listening to him.
The guy who sponsored that law was his father, Senator Joe Biden, and that charge carries a 10-year sentence, Margaret. We need to explain, they need to explain to the public why that was done.
She doesn't want to hear it.
I don't think it's time to move on.
She keeps trying to interrupt.
And you know that the U.S. Attorney in Delaware was appointed by former President Trump.
Yeah, that's her zinger, AD. You said she was trying to find a zinger. That's her zinger. Oh, the U.S. attorney is appointed by President Trump. Well, big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. Holy shit.
On issues.
Incompetent, Margaret. It doesn't matter whether you're appointed by a Republican or a Democrat. If your work appears to be incompetent and inexplicable, you need to explain it so we can have confidence in our justice system. And I don't care whether Mr. Weiss is a Republican or a Democrat.
He's a Democrat.
He owes the American
He is a
people an
Democrat. He is a Democrat. And, Margaret did not want to hear that. That is not the answer Margaret wanted. Oh, she is not happy. You saw her shuffling papers and just, that is hilarious. I didn't watch that before I pulled this up today. All right, let's see. Do I have anything else here? Okay, so we've got. I have articles supporting this. Here's the article from the Washington Examiner that they were talking about. It's a little bit. There's more to it, but he summarized it pretty well in that article on ACE. And then we're gonna move. We're gonna move on. We're done. We're done for that. So the drip Biden crime family probably not gonna be. It's funny because who was it? I think it was Jeff Charles from Red State, my buddy on Twitter, put out like this poll. If who do you think would have a better chance of winning the election against Joe Biden in 2024? And the choices were Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis, right? My answer, I didn't click either of them. I just said, my answer is, well, no one's going to be running against Biden in 2024. That's still my prediction. I think the Democrats are going to let this boil up, and now that there's some mainstream news people even talking about it, the fact that CBS actually asked questions about this to Chris Christie and was hoping to get, it's a good time, it'd be a good time to kill this, and they didn't. That means Republicans, regardless of whether they're Trump Republicans or not Trump Republicans, are not going to let go of this. Okay, they're not going to let go of it because the evidence. There's too much evidence so far, and even Jimmy Das, Hotep, what's up? I think there's a whole lot coming out on this, and this gives this actually, in a way, it plays into the hands of Democrats, though, because and it does make me wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder if they're allowing it. They're allowing all this to come out because they want Biden out of the paint. Because Gavin Newsom's licking his chops. I keep hearing the name Michelle Obama. I don't know why. Just because her name's Obama, and everyone that loved, everybody who loved Barack, they also like Mike. Okay, they just do. And so, but I truly think that it's going to be Gavin Newsom jumping into the race, and that's going to light a fire under some other candidates on the Republican side. But I don't know if anyone can beat Trump on the Republican side. But Gavin Newsom, Mr. Slick, gonna be out there campaigning soon, I think. And they're just gonna show. And look, here's what you're gonna see if Gavin Newsom gets in the race. You're going to get Gavin Newsom talking about how great California was. California created the most new jobs during this recovery, which means they had closed the most jobs during the pandemic. And on the other side, all you're going to see is homeless people and people robbing Walgreens in San Francisco. Speaking of which, that's the transition to our next story, also from Ace this afternoon. And this one's going to finish up the show with this. Well, I got two things to finish the show with. So there was a CNN report on This Is CNN that they were talking about. It was an interview about crime in San Francisco, right? And they did this walkthrough of a Walgreens in San Francisco, and during their walkthrough, filming the walkthrough in Walgreens in San Francisco, they witnessed 3 robberies during the segment. This is amazing. San Francisco Walgreens was robbed 3 times during a single CNN interview about crime in San Francisco. Crime problem? What crime problem? This is all a dark, mega, ultra right-wing white supremacist conspiracy theory, don't you know? A San Francisco Walgreens was robbed 3 times while CNN was filming a live segment on Monday. Did that guy, CNN's Kyung La, was visiting the shop to report on the rampant crime when cameras caught a man walking out of the store with several items. Did that guy pay? Wait, should we just watch it? Let's just watch it. I think I have it. Do I have it right here? Oh, here it is. Yeah, here's the segment. How long is this segment?
Is calling for action after he says he was attacked.
It's 4 minutes long, but it's worth it. It is absolutely worth. Let's watch the. Oh wait, is it not gonna let me do that? It's not gonna let me do that. What's wrong with you, Daily
outside
Caller?
a store. He says he yelled at a man to stop urinating on his trash can and then was sucker punched. His Instagram post about the incident has now gone viral.
Wait, this is not
I'm
it.
fed up with this goddamn city. It's like,
Oh yeah, this is this
I
guy.
can't just be outside and just running a business without getting punched in the goddamn face. It shouldn't be this way.
He's
at
not
all.
happy.
Like, this
He
isn't
is-
how our city should be.
San Francisco's fucked up. I know they sound like Joe Biden saying that. San Francisco is fucked up. But anyway,
Now, it's not clear what was said before the altercation or whether there's even video of it. But San Francisco
Doesn't
police
matter.
have said they are investigating.
they ain't doing
It comes as
shit.
some stores are locking up.
Oh, right. Let me quickly tell you my experience of San Francisco police investigating. So when we were a couple of years ago, we went to we did a trip from Portland to San Diego, and then a driving trip with my son. We graduated from college. He wanted to do that, so we all went and flew out to Portland, rented a car, went from Portland to San Diego, and then up to Las Vegas, whatever. During our time in San Francisco, we were in San Francisco exactly 1 hour before our car got broken into. We get into San Francisco. We can't check into our hotel till 3 o'clock, right? So we said, okay, well, we're gonna stop and get some lunch. So we went over and drove across the Golden Gate Bridge, and then went into that part of San Francisco over there, and literally just went and stopped at a restaurant, went to go eat. And while we were eating, our car got broken into and a bunch of our luggage was stolen. The first hour we stopped in San Francisco, car got broken into. And fortunately, there were a few people nearby, and they kind of, they're like, they chased the guys away before they took everything. But I lost a lot. I lost my laptop, lost a lot of camera equipment, whatever. I had to replace all the stuff that I used to use because I brought my whole studio with me on that trip because I was gonna try to do the show live from wherever we were. And so we go to the police station, right? This is like, I want to say it's about 11:30, 12 in the morning, or noon, around noon. Go in the police station, and we get in there, and there's one person ahead of us talking to the people at the desk, and we were waiting for them, and then we hear what they're there for, and they're like, oh, their car got broken into. That's why they were there, and they were from, I want to say, Montana. And so we get up to the desk and we're like, yeah, we want to report this too. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't know what we can do about it. There's not a whole lot. This is our third one today. It was our third one today. And it's just constant every day, everywhere. But anyway, that was my quick story. So the fact they're investigating it, yeah, they got a lot of investigations to do in San Francisco. Anyway.
Everything from coffee to frozen food to try to combat theft.
Oh,
Our
hang on.
young.
Like, this isn't how our city should be.
Now, it's not clear what was said before the altercation or whether there's even video of it.
Probably nothing.
San Francisco police have said they are investigating. It comes as some stores are locking up everything from coffee to frozen food to try to combat
Everything.
theft. Our Kyung Law visited one Walgreens that's hit by shoplifters more than a dozen times a day. It happened 3 times while she was inside.
3 times during the interview. Watch this.
Richie Greenberg walked into a San Francisco Walgreens when he saw in the frozen food section.
They got
This.
everything chained.
Heavy chains that went from padlock to padlock on both
Heavy
sides of
chains.
the doors. And this was bizarre, something I'd never seen before.
This
is
is
just
CNN.
more icing on the cake, telling us.
I'm only going
that
to show you up to the
rampant
first
crime
one, but it
is-
happens
is-
3
has
times
become
during
a regular part of life.
interview.
So typical that in the 30 minutes we were at this Walgreens,
Here's a guy just walking out with some shit. Just
we watched
didn't even say
3
anything.
people, incling this
Got a
man,
backpack.
steal.
Did that guy pay? Did that guy pay? He didn't pay.
Now, what's interesting here is, now I know they haven't a problem with this, but they haven't moved their counters. Notice the counter to pay is way over on the other side, away from the door. They're not doing anything to stop it. And in fact, they're told not to attempt to stop these people. So they see them. It happens. Kinds of people come in there with full just shopping bags, or not shopping bags, garbage bags, and fill their garbage bags and walk out. And apparently, well, here I'm not going to play any more of the video, but did that guy pay? Cashier, who answered that he had not, also noted she witnessed 2 other robberies despite spending just 30 minutes in the store. So in 30 minutes, 3 robberies. Now, Walgreens says this Richmond neighborhood store with aisles of products like mustard locked behind plexiglass has the highest theft rate of all their nearly 9,000 U.S. stores, hit more than a dozen times a day when thieves turned to cleaning out ice cream and frozen burritos. Workers grew so frustrated, they resorted to the change, La said, referring to the long length of chain and padlocks set up in the frozen food section. They were ordered by corporate. They were ordered down by corporate because of the negative messaging. Well, how about your negative profits? You know, that's why, for example, in Chicago, they're losing Walmarts. They're losing, in a lot of cities, they're losing stores in these places where people just walk in and steal shit. Now, Lau reported that in other stores, frozen foods, fake eyelashes, lotion, coffee, and other items are also locked up. It's become kind of like a police state in San Francisco. I don't know how else to describe it, describes Richie Greenberg. A resident Richie Greenberg told Law during the CNN segment. San Francisco has seen more than 20 retail stores closed in the downtown area since 2020. Over 10,000 cases of larceny or theft have been reported in 2023. Other cities have been hit by the spike in crime, with one Walgreens in Chicago renovating the stores so that only 2 aisles of essentials where customers may shop for themselves are available. So they're locking down shit everywhere. Because, and here it is, in California, it's not even worth prosecuting them. That's part of the problem. It's not worth prosecuting. It's a what is it? Unless it's over, I think in California it has to be over $900 worth of merchandise before they'll even prosecute it. So basically, fill up your grocery cart full of steaks and lobster, and of course, and canned goods, because no one ever steals the fresh vegetables. But fill up your cart, steal everything as long as it's under $900 in California. No big deal. Fuck it. These people are poor. They're sad. Whatever. All right, I'm gonna finish up with a video of me talking to YouTube. Now, I don't know why they required me to have this as an unlisted video, the appeal. Oh, it says it has 1 view in 4 hours. I wonder if that was just me watching, because it's unlisted, so there's no way to view it. So maybe YouTube's viewed already. Let me check my email, because if they've come back with a decision on this already, I'm just gonna be pissed. Okay, they haven't. I checked my email, nothing from YouTube. But I wanted to go. Rather than talk about the process, we're going to watch my video that I sent to Team YouTube, and I want you to give it on a scale of 1 to 10. A video of you isn't a video. Well, it is a video of me. Did I say it was not? Okay, I'm weird. Here's my response to YouTube regarding my demonetization, and it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good representation of me, because it is me. Here we go. Hang on. Let's start that beginning. There we go. All right, here we go.
Well, hello there. I'm Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet, and welcome to the P-Dog Knight channel. I recently got a letter from YouTube that says the following. Our team of policy specialists carefully looked over your videos you've uploaded to your channel, P-Dog Knight. We found a significant...
I'm sorry, let me just reiterate. Our team of policy specialists carefully looked over the videos you've uploaded. Now, let me just... I know I'm going to interrupt myself here a few times, because YouTube has roughly 320 million users. Okay, now not all of those are active channels. It's about 20 million active channels. 2 million of those channels are in the partner program. Get paid basically for, pennies, obviously, but they get paid. They're in the partner program where where your channel is monetized. 2 million monetized channels. And I think there's like 3,000 or 4,000 channels that have over 1 million viewers. Okay. Now, my subscriber base is 1,900. I think I have 1,940 something subscribers. So when they sent me a letter that says, our team of policy specialists carefully looked over the videos you've uploaded to your channel, P-Dog Night, I am very skeptical. Yes, they sent a team of policy specialists to my channel to check on what kind of videos I'm uploading. Yes, a team of policy specialists. Shall we continue? Let's go.
A portion of your channel is not in line with our YouTube partner program policies.
Okay, wait. Now, again, and also, a significant portion of your channel. Okay, let's do the numbers here. So I have I have 1,101 episodes of the Morning Night Live, roughly 90 minutes. Usually they go over a little bit, but let's say that's about 1,650 hours of original content. Okay, and then I have about 200 videos on YouTube. Most of them are long form, although about 50 or so of them are the new YouTube Shorts short form videos. Maybe 60 of those, right? Now, when someone tells you that a significant portion of your channel is not in line with the YouTube partner program, I think, well, what is this? What exactly is a significant portion? Like, is it 10%? Is it 5%? Because when I went through and tried to figure out what videos, I found 12 videos that probably fit the description of something that they could be that way, even though they had an editorial bent to them. A total of probably, okay, so not even, I think the total when I added them up time-wise was 4 minutes. 4 minutes out of 1,650 hours of video. 4 minutes total. And so, when they say significant portion, well, their significant portion is whatever the algorithm dug out of their ass, because I've been on here for 7 years. And they've throttled my channel since the beginning. But anyway, that's enough to say. Here we go.
Or YouTube partner program policies. As of today, your channel is not eligible to monetize. And you will not have access to monetization tools and features. In other words, you demonetize my channel. So it goes on to say, please go to your earn page in YouTube Studio to read more about the specific policy that our specialists flagged. Now, that's wild. I mean, you took the time to send a team of policy specialists to look at my little channel of 1,900 subscribers.
It's amazing, isn't it?
7 years.
It's amazing.
I'm honored that you sent a team of policy specialists to look over my channel. That's awesome. Well, let's go look and see what your policy specialists flagged, because you didn't tell me in this letter, oh, it was this specific video or this specific video. You just said, oh, go look at our policy. So I went to my earn page, my YouTube. I
went to the earn page. They didn't tell me which videos.
I found. So it says your channel uses someone else's content without making changes that add significant value. Now, I find this very interesting because I've been watching other YouTube channels for years, okay? And there are channels out there that literally post someone's content without even any editorial content on there that are still monetized. So good question. Can you go to the earn page if you're no longer
in the partner program. Yes, that's where they tell you you're no longer in the partner program, and they tell you, they give you a reason why, and that you could possibly in 90 days and sometime in October, well, we'll come back and check with you again, and we'll give you a chance to reapply for monetization, which, you know, in my experience, at least listening to other people, I don't know, it doesn't happen that often. I go through the Sinatra Says scenario, where it was like 4 years and they still never remonetized a channel. I think he ended up starting another channel that was completely separate from his. I don't know if that channel ever got monetized, but because they keep fucking with it. But anyway, but they demonetize all his channels. That's the other problem too. He had channels that didn't do any controversial subjects, but they demonetize everything, and they won't give him his money from the first channel. But anyway, so yes, you can go onto the earn page. It just tells you you're not allowed to earn anything.
Confusing to me, and also it would help very much whenever you send something like this to a YouTuber. Could you at least tell them specifically what you're talking about? Now, I scoured through my content, just the shorts content, because I have to assume that all the other original content that I've been doing for 7 years, this doesn't apply to. But you said you had a team of specialists looking through my content, so I'm not even sure because you don't tell me exactly what it is. But here's what I did. Went through my content, and I found 12 YouTube shorts where I re-edited them to fit into YouTube Shorts, and then I did editorial commentary in the title and the description. Now, I realize most people don't read the title and subscription in YouTube Shorts, and if that's what it is, because I didn't significantly change the videos other than re-edited them to fit into Shorts, that would be nice to know. But you don't tell me that. You just send me to some generic guidelines that don't tell me anything. So how am I supposed to be sure of what I am supposed to do and
You're
not?
not. They don't want you
just
to.
Sending me this generic letter and giving me a list of this. How about you give me the specific videos that I need to change or take down? I'll take them down. See, at least with other content on YouTube, you at least give me a warning. You give me a strike. You give me you say I get a copyright notice, and then you say, well, someone else can monetize this. But you haven't done that with Shorts. Haven't been around that long, as far as I know. I'm almost 60 years old. I don't pay attention to YouTube other than what I do on here. But you demonetize me without any warning, just boom, gone, demonetized. That doesn't make sense. Tell me what I did wrong specifically. Or tell me which videos because clearly you don't have a team of specialists scouring channels that have 1,900 users, 1,900 followers. You don't do that. That's a lie. That's a flat-out lie. It's a form letter that you guys put out there. So here's what I'd appreciate from you. I know this appeal is probably going nowhere because you guys don't really give a shit about channels my size, and especially a black man who doesn't have the right opinions. Because I know y'all, my interactions with you over the years have all been about, it's always something controversial to you guys, but it's not controversial to me or my audience. And so maybe, just maybe, if you had a system where you would say, even just list the videos that are the problem, at least I would be able to know for sure, because right now, I'm just guessing. But as I watch YouTube, and I watch a lot of the YouTube shorts, there are so many channels out there that are monetized that do nothing but, like he says, scenes from someone who's a channel that does clips from their favorite show. I see channels that's all they do, and they're monetized. So why are you coming after a channel with 1,900 subscribers? But that's a whole other thing. You and I have had a love-hate relationship since the beginning. One of my early videos, you guys took down, I appealed it, you put it back up, and ever since then, I've only been able to grow through word of mouth. You guys don't put me anywhere. So, I don't know. But anyway, that's beyond the point. It'd be really nice to know specifically what I need to do so I don't have this problem in the future. That would be the best thing that you could do. I know that's never going to happen because YouTube just doesn't give a shit. But that's what should happen. So, that's my appeal. Thank you for listening. I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.
Okay, that's it. Because I don't care. I'm at a point, they fuck with me so much, maybe they'll fuck with me less if I'm not monetized. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. I know that appeals nowhere. Because, although, what's funny, here's what's funny. Some people can get away with that. Rakita Law gets away with it. He every time he writes an appeal for anything that they do, and he's won almost every one of them, but he's a lawyer and he can write shit like that. He he rips them to shreds. He ridicules them. He makes them, they probably feel stupid after reading his appeals and go, yeah, we kind of are stupid here. But they won't do that with me because they don't give a shit. I know they don't give a shit. And so I'm telling them they don't give a shit. And I'll take, after they tell me this ain't going to work, I'll take down those. I'm going to take those 10 videos. I'm going to rework them with my face in them or whatever it takes to make him a little more original. Because it's funny. There are whole entire channels on YouTube, and I'm sure you've seen them, of people just watching other people's videos and smiling and just watching other people's videos, especially on the YouTube Shorts. In fact, it's a feature because they do that like TikTok and Reels on Instagram. It's a feature. It's a feature where it's called duetting, where you have someone else's video on the screen and you're just watching it and reacting in real time. And so apparently that's fine on YouTube because I see tons of those where they don't even talk. They just watch. And I have a few of those myself, I'm not even including those. But those seem fine to them. So what I'll do is which I'm expecting them to deny my appeal, then the other thing that they did with this is when you do an appeal, they say you can appeal this as long as you haven't taken down any videos from your channel. So I didn't take them down. I told them about them, but I didn't take them down. I just unlisted all of them. And so we'll come back later when they deny my appeal. I'm going to take all 12 of those videos and I'm going to rework them to be within that not significantly changing the video. Okay, I can do that. No problem. Whatever. Thanks, YouTube. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I'm normally here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Join me in the morning for the Morning Night Live tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday, and every Monday through Friday that I am available. So, thanks for being here today. Hope you had a good time. I'm glad that so many of you showed up. That's awesome. Gotta go, though. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye. Bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.